And now a quick word from our sponsors here at Viral Hip Hop News. Man here from Viral Hip Hop News, letting my people know to go grab this bottle of miracle food right now. Shockerdoctor.org put together some of the best ingredients on God's green earth to help your immune system, give you a cleanse and reboot that your body deserves. Don't wait for your miracle. Grab it in miracle food right now. Let's go.
Yes, sir. But
yeah, man. Moving on, my fault, man. So I was telling you in the pre-production that our man Royce the 5'9" had some things to say about a recent interview that Adam 22 had with the Hoff Twins. I don't know too much about these cats, but allegedly they like using the N-word a lot to looks like suburban white boys. They say they from the inner city or somewhere. I don't know these cats. I'm gonna play a little excerpt of what they were talking about with Adam 22, followed by what Royce the 5'9" had to say about it. Then let's work, man, and get some discussion going on.
Cool.
I mean, when we was younger, you know, we grew up far our ways, you know. But like anywhere else, motherfuckers like out of town, like, it'd be like, or someone fresh out the pen or something, they like, oh, gee, and he like, I don't appreciate saying that, and then someone else would be like, or we handle ourselves. Fresh out of the pen.
You just have to fight just over your right to say it.
I'm like, it's natural. He trying to get at us. That's what we do, because we don't really like talking too much. Yeah. If you got a problem with us, we handle it right there. I'm not gonna lay down and nigga give a like, come on, like, the fuck, I need my respect just like you need yours. If you want to be cool after it, then it's cool, but we don't like to talk a lot. If you got a problem with us, we gonna handle it right then and there.
Is there anybody you won't say it in front of? Like if you were around somebody's
like
grandma?
We don't even try to say it. It's not even we trying to say it. I call my mama. We don't try and say this shit.
Right.
This is not act. But we don't try this shit. It's just in my vocabulary. This shit don't. I'm trying to say nigga 20 times. No. Yeah. I don't try this shit. I don't even know I say this shit.
Right.
It just come out.
Y'all get the idea.
So
I'll leave it at that. Hold on, my fault. I'll pause that real quick. All right, so this is what Royce the 5'9" had to say. Priorities, dear culture. I can't sit up in a fucking clubhouse room tearing down, accusing, threatening, and exposing my own people, especially not a black woman, knowing people like this think it's cool to behave this way. You can't command respect from your own by any means necessary and then let this shit like, and then let shit like this slide. Y'all soft. Detroit ain't though. I wish they would. Sincerely, an old nigga.
You know what? I gotta be honest, man. Like, when you look at, you always got your people that speak out over the years. You know, whether it be Malcolm, Martin, Khalid Muhammad, Fred anybody you want to talk about that's going to speak out about different things. You know, when they're wrong. So I don't have a problem with that. You know, my issue with the whole situation, I want to deal with just the whole N-word thing. You know what I mean? Because it's really a travesty, honestly, and it's really, we really shouldn't be using it with each other at the end of the day, because nobody should feel comfortable saying that word, but everybody's going to bring it up that you guys, you know, and I'm not saying this is a good excuse, but you guys call each other this and that and the third, but don't people think it's kind of a little funny that any other racial slur, no other race is calling themselves that? Ain't it kind of funny though? Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and say the slurs. I'm not trying to offend anybody. It's like I'm not gonna say the N-word. You know what I mean? But any, you know, whether it be Oriental, Asian people, Jewish people, Spanish people, Caucasian people, black people, whatever people, we got a racial slur for that. But nobody runs around saying, "Hey you, hey this, hey that." Nobody else thinks that's cool but us. So I just think that, you know, it shows, you know, the degeneracy in our community, you know what I mean, for one. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you know, we got to have self-respect first for ourselves and treat ourselves a certain way before we can expect somebody to treat us a certain way. Don't mean that it's tolerable when they do it, but we can expect somebody to treat us with respect. We have to treat ourselves with respect, is what I think about it.
You know, every time we have an issue with somebody outside the race saying something demeaning to us, their first counterpunch, and it's a hell of a counterpunch because it gets us every time, is, well, y'all do it to each other. Black on black crime, disrespect here, the N-word. It always relates back to what y'all do to each other, and it seems like that's the first move in this chess game is we got to start beginning to treat each other better again. Mm-hmm. And I know it's stupid and it's cliche, and we've talked about this a million times, and you see your OGs talking about it and your other people pretending to love and talk about it, but it's true, man. We got to do better, and I don't know how to begin or where to start, but we got to do better because shit like this won't stop. And here's another thing that may not be very popular to the mainstream media that may happen to check this out. Rock with Royce the 5'9". Fuck with him. Don't know him personally, and do firmly believe that the message he throws on his IG and the message that he receives when he walks out and gives conversation is genuine to what he firmly believes. But I think the consensus and a lot of people that do preach what they're preaching, it makes sound good, but they're full of shit. They're full of shit because when you look at media platforms that have a voice, that are black, that are speaking real, and I'm not just talking about this one. There are various good ones out here. They seem to shy away from them and run to your Adam 22's and your other various platforms. Only reason I brought Homeboy's name up because it was a topic of conversation, but we all know the platforms. You run to them. And why do you run to them? Because they do numbers. And who supports them? Mainly us. Yeah. So it's like we got to get out of this bullshit because we talk a good game, but then we follow it up by, oh, I'm not going to talk to them niggas. Oh, I'm not going to do this. They treat you like you the feds. But when you look at the track record, and I'm going to talk about us personally right now, when have you seen us ever asking any wild questions that can incriminate anybody? When have you ever seen us going into your personal life as far as relationships and all this? Mm-hmm. No. It's the real shit, and it's the shit people want to hear. Yeah, it may get uncomfortable, it may get a little uncensored, but this is what we got to do. But we always come with a level of respect and integrity, and this is why the people rock with us. This is why we are the people's fucking podcast. And I'm starting to get tired of a lot of these celebrities running out here speaking a good game, but going and doing the opposite, bro.
Yeah, and it's like they pick and choose, like who. As they be using the term culture vulture. Like they'll say, "Oh, we ain't dealing with this culture vulture," but then you'll see them on another culture vulture's platform. I'm not talking about Royce in particular. Mm-hmm. I'm just talking about in general. These people, like that's they mans in them. They just kind of just say forget these dudes and still go over there. So again, it goes back to treating ourselves. Like once we think that it's unacceptable to treat each other like that, then we damn sure will never ever take disrespect for nobody else ever, because nobody will ever feel comfortable enough. See, those dudes on there feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. They know nothing's going to happen, but nobody will feel comfortable, saying about another person because something may happen to you. You know what I mean? This is what I want nothing to happen to somebody physically, but you had military enforcements in every community. You had the Irish mob, Russian mob, Jewish mob, Italian mob, enforcers. When people F with them, they took them out and they did what the hell they had to do because they was going to enforce it outside of the color of the law. And I'm not saying I agree with it, but it's in our history. It's written in blood.
Indeed. And now they messing with the money. You can't say something about somebody's race because your fucking pockets will get taken care of. And as people that are the biggest consumers in the world, how the fuck can't we control our money enough to go, oh, you want to talk about us like that? All right, we snatching our bread up out of here. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, and let's get some change then. But again, it goes all the way back to we the biggest consumers out here. The first jab we get is we do it to ourselves. Yeah, it starts with the root, man. It starts with the root.
Yeah, man. We got a lot of work to do, but it starts like programs like this.
Yeah.
Putting the real out there, putting the real. We don't have people that, we have sponsors per se, but nobody's sponsoring us to the point where they're going to be able to control our message. Nope. Nobody's putting that type of bread up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, people pay to get their little shit advertised, but at the end of the day, we say what we want to say. You know what I mean? Even YouTube, they don't really, they censor certain things, but for the most part, you can kind of rock out at the end of the day. They're not really telling you what to say. So, you know what I mean? We're going to keep it real over here, man.
Indeed. And we're about to get on this road, man, and get live with the people because it's a lot more we can get into that YouTube won't let us talk about.
Oh, yeah.
And trust
and believe. Get raller now. Y'all lucky. This is, this wasn't on YouTube. We was just on a regular podcast. It'd have been way raller.
They ain't got much time, man, to be safe because it's about to get real busy, man. When they start unleashing and what we got planned for y'all, man, it's going to be special, man. But until then, y'all keep enjoying it how y'all enjoying it. And just know the real is real. And we definitely recognize the bullshit. And it's about to be called out real soon.
Yes, sir. I'm going to talk about my man, Ralph Way. Premiered this video.
Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip bars is back. Hip Sam and oh God, what's up with you? I done watched them niggas do interview after interview. They not culture vultures, the culture something they been into. So if you never gave them a view, I recommend you do. Cause when they question guests, they message is not subliminal. It don't matter if you a rookie.